Now, this one, it was a bit hard to decide because sport has always been a part of my life. Whenever I was younger, I was doing trampolining, tennis, badminton, gymnastics. Just the list goes absolutely on. Like, I've always done sports. It was just finding one that suited me best. And I feel like if it wasn't rugby, it would end up being, like, if my dad allowed it, probably Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because I think I was beaten against the youngest black belt in England, I think it was. And he said I was pretty good, so I was quite happy with that. But for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I think because of its similarities to rugby, like in the contact-wise, I think that's just would be one of the ones I'd be more interested in if I weren't doing rugby. So, yeah, I think that. But it's quite a hard question because I have no idea. I would say 100% biggest thing is the different calls with everything. So for one team, you might have the specific line-out calls. Another team would be completely different. Different attack calls, different defence calls, different... If you've got running a pod, some do it differently. And yeah, that is my worst thing, because especially like college, where I am right now, we have like a board full of just attack plays. Not even defence, not line-outs, just attack. And then we have another thing for an absolutely bunch of line-out ones and then defence ones. So then when I get back to club, it's like trying to remember what they know versus what my college have taught me. Because if I go start saying, oh yeah, we'll do this, this and this, and they've never heard it before, they are not going to understand what the hell I'm saying. And I feel like that's happened a few times where I've just been like, oh, we should call this, and it's like, that doesn't exist here. But that is my answer. 100% the calls. I'm not really an aggressive person while I play. If you've ever seen me play, I kind of just run around, smile on my face. And yeah, unless someone's like insulted me, which then, even then, I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to say to that. But I'm going to change it a bit. So I'm going to say, how do you balance excitement and technique in a game? Because that's not more what I have during a game. I'm normally like overexcited and then ready to do stuff. But overall, with balancing it, technique always needs to come on top, because if you get too emotional in the game, you become less focused on what you're actually supposed to be doing. So always focus on the technique, because the excitement will always come. And if you're actually aggressiveness while you play will always come. But having that technique always backs you up, making sure you don't get injured as much. Like, the risks are lower because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. As long as you commit to it, then yeah. So how I balance it is always putting technique on top. I would say the weighting, like hands down. And the reason I say that is because, like with Kent when I was a lot younger, they told me I couldn't get in because I was too young, like for front row forward. And obviously that was so disappointing, because I had spoken to someone and ended up finding out, like, I did really well on all categories. So then to be told that was like, but, like, your testing showed I could do it. Like, why are you telling me I can't? But then, like, a few months later, something they text me back, like, oh, yeah, by the way, like, we're looking for some people to do a retrial. Like, you're one of the ones we wanted to come back. And it was just like, I didn't understand it, because it was like, you told me I was too young, and now you're telling me to come back for a retrial. And I thought it was just always very confusing. Like, this was the next step I was supposed to take. Why are you stopping me from it? And obviously something similar happened recently, which wasn't too bad because I'm playing for them anyway next season, and the season was pretty much over. But with T-Birds, they asked our RFU as well, like, she's a bit too young, like 17 and not 18, but would she still be allowed to do this, pretty much? And they were like, no, she has to wait till she's 18. So it was another thing. I was like, oh, I could have played a game with them or two. I don't think there was many left of the season anyway, but it still would have been like exciting to get that in. But again, it was like, no, you can't do this. You have to wait until you're 18. And it's like, oh, another thing that I'm just like, this is my next part that I'm supposed to do. And I'm just waiting around because they keep saying I'm too young to do it. From London Broncos, because obviously that's the highest level I've gotten to so far and actually played games with. But when I first joined them, I was like, oh my god, they are so fast. Like, they were faster than any college players or anything like that. And there was a team of them, of just absolute greyhounds. And I was like, at first I was a bit like, oh my god, like, what am I supposed to do with this? But after a while, you kind of got used to it. You, like, learned how to deal with the speed. You learned how to get faster yourself. And, like, I did. So then when I went back to, like, college games or club games, especially club games, like, everyone didn't seem as fast as they used to be, because I'd suddenly seen this whole nother level where everyone's speedy as hell. So I definitely think it's helped, like, as a bit of an eye-opener to see what levels can hold, like, the differences, because that was still mental. I remember looking at them going, what the hell am I supposed to do? But yeah, no, it's good now, but I think that definitely helped me a lot with growth and everything like that. I'm gonna say, like, old school, because I'm not the type of person who'd go, we got this, girls, woo, like, cheering us on, like the motivational kind. I'm not really that. I'm the type to go, this is what we did last game, this was what was good about it, this is what was bad, this is what we need to do this game. And then if we have a talk later on in the game, I'm like, this is what we're doing well, this is what we need to do better on. And if I've talked to the ref at all, it's like, this is what he said. Throughout the game, I try and act as almost like a control barrier, like, everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing, everyone does it. And it just makes everyone's lives easier, because everyone knows what they're doing. But that's the one I've always preferred, like, command and control kind of thing. But I always find it a bit awkward. But other than that, yeah, I would definitely say that is, because, I don't know, I just feel like going, woo, doesn't really help a lot in these kind of situations. But definitely works better under, like, harder games, because we know what we're supposed to be doing. We know what needs fixing. We know what can make it work. So I definitely think it works. I just think that is the type I am, and I don't really know what to call it. Obviously, I've expressed wanting to do play for England, obviously, and then if they do it one day, Lions, hopefully. But it's, what's my next steps now? So my next steps are quite simple. So, as I said, finally an easy question. Obviously I still need to get college done. I'm aiming for a triple distinction for my course, which so far I'm on par to doing. And then I have T-Birds next. Now obviously I couldn't do T-Birds this year because I was too young, but next year, when I get back into it, I'll finally be old enough to do it. And then after that is when I have to try and work out what I'm doing next. But for now, my next stage is T-Birds. It's championship for union, because I'm already championship for leagues. I'm finally equaling them up. that. And the question is probably just other hobbies, because I just like doing stuff. Either that or just laying in bed and watching TV. Either or. But I like crocheting. I can sew. I like learning Japanese. So it was just whatever I feel like in the moment. I think it would just end up being a different hobby, just taking over to make sure I don't feel bored. But yeah. I have a plan now, but when I was actually going through it, I was like, oh, this person. And I was like, no, wait, this person. Because it was like, the original one I had was Hannah Bottoman. And I was like, oh my God, she's an absolute powerhouse. Like, I saw one of her games in person. Like, she was storming through people, stuff like that. I was like, oh, like, her. And then I was like, well, at the same time, Vicky Fleetwood has always been, like, for what I wanted to look like when I was older, at my height, like, same kind of positional, Vicky Fleetwood has always been the one I wanted to look like. Like, amazing. She has such amazing abs. Oh, my God. And she is so strong. Like, I was looking through all her Instagram and stuff like that. But I feel like the person I look up to most is Portia Woodman from New Zealand. Because whenever I see her play, like, I've never seen a bad clip of her, I swear to God. Whenever I see her play, I'm just like, holy shit. Because she plays like a mad woman, and it is absolutely incredible to watch. I've just never gotten bored of her clips, and she is definitely one to admire in my books. And yeah, no, definitely her. I want it to be that I worked my ass off, that I didn't just sit around waiting for things to happen. I push hard to try and make them happen, like with all my trials and everything like that. And that I didn't get anything like just handed to me on a silver platter. I worked so hard to get to where I am, and I'm so happy with the progress I've made. Obviously, there's still things I wish I could have done that, wish I did that instead. But this is all a learning thing for me, I'm guessing it is for so many other girls. You do it as you go, and sometimes you think, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. But it's hard to change when you didn't know what the correct answer was at the time. And as I said, women's rugby is still growing. You don't know what opportunities are going to change, which limitations are going to change. So a lot of the things, it's like when I left Kent, because I thought Oxford would end up being too much. So I was like, oh, I'll leave it for now, and then if I need it, I'll come back to it. But that was a terrible mistake, because I didn't realise they'd made it that rule that year, that like PDG must be attached to Kent and not through colleges. And I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But we live and we learn, and as I said, I'm trying my best, and it is a learning curve for everyone. We don't know the exact route you're supposed to take, because there isn't one. People have different routes to get there, to wherever they want to go, from different ways. So we never know what actually is right or wrong. But yeah, that's my answer.